This is the SuperCoach NRL official podcast, Round Preview with Tom Sangster and Rob Sutherland.
Hello, SuperCoaches, and welcome to Grand Final Week. Yes, because it is such a special occasion, we've got a very special guest with Rob Sutherland returning to the podcast. Great to have you back.
It's moderately good to be back, Thomas. Thank you.
What have you been up to? Just chilling out?
I have. We were saying before we came on that not being on the show, therefore not watching every minute of every game, it's quite relaxing. Yeah, it's nice.
How good. So how's your team shaping up? I did notice that you may have kind of sort of overtaken me in the overall rankings.
There's no maybe ifs or buts about it, Tom. I have overtaken you, though I don't really look now. I just assumed that I'm going to go well. I'm going to progress. I've actually had a lot of luck. Yeah, at the start of the year, I had no luck. I wrote it in the blog Q&A that SuperCoach is a game of strategy and luck, or skill and luck. And those who do well emphasize the first bit, and those who do badly emphasize the second bit. So I've got lots of strategy and skill, as you know. I live and breathe this game. But I had no luck at the start of the year. So I could have just kicked stones, but instead I traded my way out of the bad luck. I'm now having good luck. I have no trades left.
Yeah, so I was about to say,
I know, I thought I'd
talk yourself up. How is your team looking for this week and potentially next week when there are a bunch of restings potentially?
Absolutely crap, Thomas. Absolutely crap. Thanks very much, Bellyache. I had lots of Storm players. I've got Hughes, Harry Grant. Got rid of Eli Katoa just as he started scoring tries, so that was another one of my success moves. I'm not worried about it. I just can't worry about it. Can't do anything about it, so why worry about it? How about you?
You're definitely looking less stressed since you stopped the podcast.
That's for sure. I am just very relaxed. Yeah.
I'm going to have to play Joe Chan, given that Storm have rested so many players.
But he's starting. And he can go and play when he's playing.
He should play at least 60, hopefully 80 minutes. So I'm hoping I can get 50 from him this week. Then I've got my one trade left for next week when they're going to be more mass restings, we think, although there's lots of things could happen between now and then.
So you think you're better off saving one trade that will get you one game as opposed to using it now and getting two games out of it?
Yeah, well, it just depends what happens with the resting, and it all hinges on results this weekend. There could be almost no players rested next week, or there could be a whole bunch, and it hinges on a whole bunch of different things. So I'm just going to sit back, wait, play Joe Chan, get me 50 or 60, and then next week, hopefully, other people are playing short. Well, I've got 17.
But let's assume that, say, Nicho Hynes plays this week, right? And I suppose we're going to talk about him later. He's a great upside guy. Now, you could trade for him. You're Karen Cleary, right? Trade for him, get 140 this week against a Warriors team who kind of don't have a lot to play for, are playing away from home, their last game of the season. Other than Sean Johnson, what are they playing for here? So Nicho could go big. And then Nicho could go big in the last game. You get 2 bites of Nicho.
Well, first of all, I don't think that Nicho will go well. I think that he's got Cameron Munster written all over him, where it's going to take him a while to come back and get back to form. The Sharks are going so well without him as well. Like, do they play him from the bench? Does he even play? We don't even know yet. I'm definitely off Nicho. If I was going to go with someone, it would be Matt Burton, who I don't think will get rested. And I already own Sammy Walker. But I think Burton, I would be taking well ahead of Nicho Hynes.
Oh, I completely disagree. Burton had a good game last week and scored 102. In fact, he had a great game, right? Before that, he's been going really well and scoring 70, 70, 70. Burton's a 70 guy. If you got your last trade, you got a head-to-head to win, Matt Burton's not going to thump your opponent. Nicho Hynes, if he comes off, he will.
Best replacement for Jerome Hughes. We've kind of covered it with the Nicho Hynes chat, but is Hynes number one for Nicho or Cleary or whoever you need to get rid of at halfback?
He is for me. I mean, again, it just comes to the upside. The other is obviously Sam Walker, right? But we saw last week the problem that you can have with Sam Walker, which is Roosters have a lot of mouths to feed. So they can score a lot of points. Sam Walker doesn't score a lot of points. They can score a middling amount of points. Sam Walker scores 100. You just never know. Is the ball going to go left? Is the ball going to go right? Is Sam going to get the try assist, or is he going to pass to Teddy, who passes to Joey, who passes to, and scores the... There's too many mouths there to have Sam, so I'm going Nicho.
I also think that Walker could get rested. You'd have to think, given he's that smaller body, he could get rested. Probably not this week, although they do play the final game of the round. So imagine if the Roosters decided, if results went their way this weekend, that they would rest players in that final game of the round. And for example, you've got Walker, Tedesco, maybe even Crichton not playing on the Sunday.
I could maybe see Sam, especially with Connor Watson back.
Yep.
Like I could maybe see how that's going to work. And Cheese back, therefore, yeah, you could move Sand and Smith, and you've got, two hookers coverage with Connor and Cheese. But I can't see Teddy or Angus being rested.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get rested from the game, full stop. But does Teddy play 50 minutes?
No.
And they'll be ahead at that point anyway.
No, because it's the Raiders who we love to thrash. B, there's every chance by then that Radley has been sent off the bin. Spencer will probably follow him out, so we can't afford to use the rotations there.
Yeah, 18th man will be called in for sure.
Correct.
The code deal at the moment is $1 for the first month, so just give it a crack for this week. It's grand final week. If you're going for the overall, give it a crack for next week as well, and then cancel if you want to. I don't really care. Just give it a crack.
Cancel. Stay around for the exclusive content for the SuperCoach NBL.
SuperCoach NBL is going to be huge. We've got some big sign-ups coming in for that as well. Stories everywhere. So look out for SuperCoach NBL content too. Time for the Tabs Best Bets, brought to you by the Tabs NRL Same Game Multi. Build smarter same game multis using stats and insights. Download the Tab app today. Now, I've got to be wild this week, Rob.
You've got wild, please.
That's paying $4.60.
God, that's boring. Go on, hit us with your big
Lomax to score 2 tries, marking up against Mike Acevo, who he's pulled off a couple of decent try-saving tackles recently, but he's not exactly the best defensive winger going around. Into the Dragons to win. Probably a little bit sentimental, but if the Dragons win...
Yeah, for $4.60.
Yeah.
How many times has Lomax scored 2 tries this year?
Over 2 tries, I believe it's 3 times, but he got a hat-trick in there too.
Sorry, so he's done it only 3 times,
yes.
Right? In 24 games, 25 games of buys.
Yeah.
And you think it's a good bet at under $5 he's going to do it again?
This is a sentimental bet, Rob, because I really want Lomax to go well and I want the Dragons to make the 8. If they win against the Eels and win well, they can kind of, sort of, maybe lock in that top 8 spot.
I don't get
anyway, give us your $560.
Let's have a real bet.
500 to 1.
It's a 3-legger and it's going to be all done by tonight, so you can go and reinvest your winnings. It is Melbourne by 1-12. I'm saying not only do they not lose, they win.
They actually win.
Correct. Murray Taulagi to score first, second or third try, and Tyron Wishart first, second or third try. 300 to 1, baby. 3-legger.
There are actually some quite wild odds for something it's not going to happen, but still, like, it's some pretty good.
It's Wishart that throws up the stupid odds, because I think he's moved to hooker.
He's a hooker now.
See, I should know this if I'm going to put him in the bet, but that's still not impossible he scores.
Does he actually play there for the whole game, though? I can see a situation where he moves into the halves at some stage.
After scoring a try.
The only place to place those bets is on the Tab app. What is gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website gamblinghelponline.org.au. Time for Rob's Pod of the Week. What have you got for us?
Once again, I clearly have done work more than just beyond tonight's game. When you asked me to come on the show about 30 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago. It was about 8 a.m, I'd say.
Time's flowing.
Yeah.
Kyle Felt. I'm bringing back Kyle Felt for one last burst, right?
Wow, he's your guy.
He is my guy, and he's signed to go to Super League, so it's nice that Kyle won't be lost to the game when he leaves. But he scored 7 tries in the last 4 games, running at a sort of disjointed Melbourne, outside backs.
Yeah.
The centres and the wingers haven't spent a lot of time together. Look, the smart play is probably Scotty Drinkwater, right? I think he's the guy that probably goes big. But my thing when you're looking at a pod is Drinkwater going to go that much bigger than, say, Tedesco, Ponga, or Trbojevic, right? Probably not. But Felt could go significantly better than your 5th or 6th best centre wing, and you play him as your pod. There you go.
I've actually changed my one up from the run sheet here because I had Isaiah Yeo, which is completely boring.
It's very boring.
But I still think he'll go well this week. Panthers have to win. They could even drop out of the top 4. So, look, I think he is a decent pod, even though he's not technically a pod at about 20%.
So he's boring? not a pod, but still a decent pod. You really haven't been held to account on this show while I've been away, haven't you, Tom?
And a lot of
the guys
people,
just sitting going, all right, Tom, all right.
and
No,
a
I'm going
lot
to call
of
it out.
people are looking to fill that position as well, given all the injuries in that slot. Kaloa Matangi is the other guy who I don't mind as well. But Dylan Lucas is mine, starting in the back row for the Knights, coming up against the Titans in a dry game at home. I think he could go okay.
I think he could. And if we're going to stick with that game, I'd throw out Fafita, who hasn't scored a lot of tries and is really, really due. I think he'll probably get one. And Jaden Campbell is a pod from that game. He's been doing nothing and scoring 57, 59 the last 2 games. Almost scored a lot more last week. I think he goes big this week.
Yeah, Jaden Campbell had a couple of little brain explosions and had a try disallowed. It was correctly disallowed. But
can I mention, if we're going to do brain explosion and Titans, Brian Kelly is hilarious. Like, he's my favourite player to watch because there is at least once a game he will do some of the stupidest things you've ever seen, right? And you just get 4 and looks at him like it was second tackle and Kelly's running. It's like they're 20 metres out and he tries a kick and Foreign has to clean it up and he just looks over with disgust at Kelly. And Kelly doesn't even look sorry. He's just like, player's got to play, right? And then, of course, he'll make it up by doing something spectacular. Like, he's a great physical player. But up here, he must be a coach killer.
So do you reckon he would be the new sort of Blake Ferguson of rugby league?
Yeah, because
have you got him in that sort of...
There's plenty of guys
ranking?
who do stupid things, but then there's not as many that make up with a moment of magic, right?
Yes.
And Fergo always did that. If he did something stupid, he did something great. Kelly is in that same class. Yeah, and that's meant as a compliment, legitimately, that he has the talent to do something great to make up for the bad things.
No-go zone. So you can't go with Brian Kelly for your no-go zone. I don't know why, but I've got Tedesco here, even though he is the most popular captain, and I think he goes well. He's gunning for 5 straight tons at Allianz Stadium, but I'm mainly just trying to talk myself into Turbo as captain. I just worry that if results go the Roosters' way, he might not play the full 80 minutes, may even get rested at some stage.
I think the Suwali out probably means that he does play. Because if Suwali was there, then it gives him a bit more backline flexibility. But, I just don't think they're going to risk moving Joey Manu to the back. The Raiders have to be respected after their win last week.
And they need to win. They have to win to make the 8.
The Raiders go well against the Roosters. Sort of traditionally, I always fear this game as a Roosters fan. It's one I don't like, not because of Ricky. It's not personal anymore. I was
going to say, is this...
Well, he's lifted the restraining order, so now I could still go to the game if they're playing, but I won't. I'll respect him. No-go zone is mine's Matt Burton. Not that I wouldn't play him, but that I just wouldn't buy him. I just don't see the upside that others seem to be seeing there. So, it's an odd one, but I'm going Matt Burton.
Yeah, I actually think Burton is the best replacement if you're looking for a half, because they've got 2 games.
They're so in sync now.
Because they don't he's not going to get rested, and they play both their games at Accor Stadium.
As an owner,
which is where he goes.
I'm thrilled with him. He's been great.
Captaincy chat. So Teddy's at 42%. Are you going to go there? I'm not, mainly because I've just been, as if you've been watching or listening to this podcast all year, if Tommy Turbo's playing, I captain him every week, and I'm going to stick to it this week, even against the Bulldogs, who are the best defence in the competition, even at Accor Stadium, where they are unbeaten, I believe, this year. I'm still going to give it a crack. And so I'm therefore death riding Tedesco.
My thing is I'll be going Teddy, right? But I don't hate Turbo for the reason that Stephen Crichton's out. So, Turbo loves going that left sweep, right? Critter's out, which means instead of sweeping at Critter's side, he's going to be sweeping at Carraz and Skelton.
Carraz out of position.
Which is, Carraz has been good at centre, but it's not as good as when Crichton's running that side of the defence. True. So I think there's at least a try or a try assist there for Trbojevic. But I'm going Holmes VC. I'm hoping it's all over by, 10 o'clock tonight. And I'll have Teddy as my backup captain.
I wish I could VC Turbo into Teddy, but obviously you can't do that given they're in the same position. Maybe we could change the rules of SuperCoach to make that possible.
We should do that ahead of this week. There would be absolutely no outrage.
Yeah, sorry. Rules have changed.
And Max Plath will never get a dual position again. Just to throw that in.
Ponga, 16%.
Yeah.
Would you go him? It's up against the Titans. They need to win, and it's at home. And it's a day game. I think it's either 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be dry. Surely there's lots of points in that game.
I would think there would be a lot of points in that game. The Titans are very good at conceding points. They're almost as good as scoring, and that's why they're not quite, a top 8 team. But I think those numbers are right. I think Ponga's a fine captaincy choice. He's not as good as the other two, and I don't think it matters because I think Holmes will score 100 plus.
Yeah, VC on Holmes for sure. Big thanks to Rob. Great to have you back on the podcast. And I counted one real blow up at Brian Kelly, and that
wasn't even a blow up. It was just an observation.
Obviously, he's relaxed having not been on the podcast recently. But big thank you, and good luck in your grand finals.